The Photogrammetry 3D models are the most commonly used premium dataset. 3D models of major UK cities are usually already created, and sites outside of these city centres are very well covered by existing aerial surveys. As a result, Photogrammetry 3D models can be sourced from existing libraries or produced to order in a very short amount of time for pretty much any site in the United Kingdom. Similar coverage exists for sites in Ireland. Whilst elsewhere in the world it might be more difficult to source these 3D models, it is almost always possible to commission a custom 3D model. The photogrammetric 3D models are usually sourced by a planning consultant or the architect. It is recommended, but not always possible, to source these models early on, as the maximum building envelope, facades, shapes and even building orientation can be significantly amended during the pre-planning and planning stages. Building envelope constraints stemming from local planning regulations or from acquired rights such as rights to light can have a significant impact on the building design. Visual Skycomponent calculations assess the daylight impact of different massing options. This type of study is usually conducted by an architect or a planning consultant during the pre-planning phase and results in the generation of a maximum building envelope constraining the final architectural design. Compliance with local planning regulations such as London View Management Framework or St Paul's Heights Maximum Heights Grid represents further constraints on the maximum size of the proposed building. Photogrammetric models are geo-referenced to OS map, can be overlaid with third-party data, and easily updated and upgraded. They are therefore ideal to be used in many stages of the design and development process. Used here in digital public consultation process by 3D Repo, the 3D model has been used to take a stakeholder through possible issues with a proposed design, with the possibility of viewing changes from their windows or balconies. Weston Williamson architects use photogrammetry 3D models for public consultation boards, as well as to generate 2D maps from geo-referenced 3D model data. To comply with the City of London wind microclimate guidelines requires wind modelling studies to be carried out. Exceeding the recommended values might result in amendments to the architectural design. More and more local authorities require these studies to be conducted for planning purposes. Further studies might be required by local authorities during the planning process. Solar glare assessments might be required for developments near railways, and accurate visual representations renders will be very likely required in the planning process of tall and significant buildings to inform the effect of a proposal on the as-built environment. Compliance with a wide variety of regulations often creates back and forth between the architect, planning consultant, and the investor. Using the same 3D model for all assessments from early on can help to identify and communicate possible issues and significantly reduce the time required to produce an architectural design compliant with all local planning restrictions. Well thought out access design and temporary site structures positioning are important considerations on every site. Working on the development in a busy city centre can increase the pressure and complexity of the operation multifold. BAM Construction used a photogrammetry 3D context model as part of a competitive tender process to design and communicate the size and appearance of the scaffolding, locations of the in-out site access, cranes positioning, and even turning circles checks. For simple sites, even extruded building footprints may be sufficient. Premium 3D models are recommended for sites in urban areas, sites with complex terrain height changes, or where the initial assessment identifies issues. The last example of using 3D city models for designing more livable cities is an innovative project by Ioana Man. She explored how architecture can collaborate with biology to create a more sustainable built environment. She conducted microbes DNA sequencing and identification and used a photogrammetry 3D city model to take into account the existing urban density and land use. The use of accurate context model will also be pivotal in the effort to quantify and extrapolate her findings to other parts of London or other cities.